Hi, I'm Paul, and in this video I'm going to show you how to replace the clutch and the cord loop on an Applause standard with EasyRise. What I want to do first is I'm going to hold on to the end cap of the clutch assembly and gently start rocking that off. To release it from the headrail, that allows me to begin to slide the headrail off of the fabric. And I don't need to go very far, but what I want to keep in mind here is I don't want to slide the clutch assembly out of the headrail too much. I want it to stay on both of the spools throughout the shade. What I want to do now is go ahead and remove the locking collar from the drive shaft here with my 5/64 Allen wrench. And I'll go ahead and loosen that locking collar just a little bit. And now I can remove the old clutch and the cord loop. All right, so I'm bringing in my new clutch assembly. I'll just want to make sure that the end cap is in good condition. There's going to be 4 tabs here, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, which need to marry up with these tabs here on the top and the bottom of the clutch assembly. I'll want to go ahead and take my cord loop and just grab the opposite end of the loop from the tensioner. And I want to go ahead and feed that cord loop through the end cap of the clutch assembly. And just get enough through there so I can work on it. I need to get this cord loop wrapped around this drive. Sometimes this is just easier to pop this out. Just comes out really easily. You can see the point there where this clutch drive is going to connect in there. So with this drive removed, I can just go ahead and simply just wrap this cord around and go ahead and get it in place right there around the teeth of the drive. Now that that's in place, I'm going to go ahead and just drop this back in. And as I'm doing that, I want to make sure that this cord is staying seated around this perimeter of the clutch assembly. And we can go ahead and push that in. I may need to rotate it a little bit just to make sure it fully seats down into the clutch assembly here. I can see that everything is nice and flush, so we're in good shape. Now I need to bring the end cap back in. So I'm just going to slide this end cap up towards the clutch assembly, get it nice and close, but we have this cord loop guide right here. There's kind of a division point here, an upper channel and a lower channel. And I want to make sure that the cord loop ultimately ends up sitting within those guides. So I'll set those cords in place, and now I'm going to go ahead and bring the end cap in as I'm guiding the cord out the front of the end cap. I want to go ahead and get the front features of this guide inserted through the hole in the end cap. So I'll go ahead and bring the end cap around so that it marries up with the guide here. And now I can just simply rock this back, and I'll start on the top here. I want to make sure I get solid engagement here on these 2 tabs on the top, and then I'll flip it over and make sure that my 2 tabs are fully seated and locked into place on the bottom as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and test the clutch assembly by pulling on the cord loop and just making sure that I'm getting good movement in both directions. So now I'm ready to bring the clutch assembly back to the shade. And what I'm focusing on here is on the bottom side of the clutch, I can see these 2 areas right here that are going to receive the top cell and the aluminum filler strip. Just separate the top cell a little bit just to get it away from the fabric stack. So I'm going to bring in that top filler strip and just get it started so I have good alignment here. Now, I can bring the drive shaft back to the locking collar. This is a V shaft here, so there is a notch on one side, and I want to make sure that it lines up with the notch right there on the locking collar. Now I'm going to go ahead and get that fully seated in there. I'll go ahead and just turn that a little bit so that my Allen screw is to the top. I'm going to make sure that the drive shaft is fully seated in the locking collar, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. Now we're ready to bring the headrail back towards the clutch assembly. And it's sometimes easier have the shade slightly lower just to give me a little bit of room here. Again, I don't want to damage any of these remaining cells below the filler strip. So let's go ahead and bring the head rail towards the clutch assembly. I'm going to hang on here, and I can see that this top tab of the clutch is going to slide into this rear and front channel on the top of the head rail. So I'll use that as my positioning to guide this into place. As I'm pushing it on, I may need to stop and check my work and just make sure I'm not damaging the fabric here in any way as I'm sliding that clutch into place. So we've made sure that the end cap and the clutch assembly are fully seated. In this case, I have an outside mount shade, so I can see that the cord loop is protruding beyond the fabric edge. The last thing I'll do is come over and check this side and just make sure that the fabric edge is nice and flush with the inside edge of the end cap here as well. All right, so we've replaced the clutch and the cord loop on my Applause EasyRise shade. My last step now will be to hang the shade and check the operation.